From 1975 to 1985, Sherman Hemsley played one of television's most beloved characters in the history of the small screen, George Jefferson of the sitcoms The Jeffersons. Police in Texas stated late Tuesday that the actor passed away in his El Paso home and that foul play is not suspected. Sherman Hemsley played many different roles throughout his career, but he will go down in history for his portrayal of George Jefferson, a character that first appeared as a recurring role on another historic sitcom, All in the Family. Now, Hemsley's character, along with Isabel Sanford playing his wife Louise, or Wheezy, was so popular in All in the Family that a spin-off profiling the couple's life was produced and became one of television's most endearing shows. Even though the character of George Jefferson was known as feisty, stubborn, and temperamental, among other things of the sort, the actor who played him was actually quite the opposite. He's quoted as saying that it was hard for him to play that role because he did not like being rude. Despite George Jefferson's characteristics, Sherman Hemsley turned him into a classic small-screen character that has gone down in history. Hemsley was 74 years old and is said to have died of natural causes. While the nation is still reeling after the mass shooting that occurred at the midnight screening of The Dark Knight Rises in the Century 16 movie theater in Aurora, Colorado, many have come together to give and show support to the 70 victims, 12 of which passed, and their families. And that also includes the star of the film that they were there to see. Christian Bale, who played Batman, took a trip on Tuesday to Aurora to visit with the victims, representing himself, not Warner Brothers, the film's distributor, and went purely by his own will. According to the Denver Post, Christian Bale spent nearly 2.5 hours at a hospital visiting seven victims, as well as meeting with a number of doctors, police officers, and EMTs who were at the scene on the day of the worst shooting massacre in U.S. history. Prior to visiting the victims and heroes, the president of the hospital was asked not to notify the media of his visit. Other stars of the film released statements since the shooting last week, including Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Anne Hathaway, Gary Oldman, and the director of The Dark Knight Rises, Christopher Nolan.